Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I would like to present the scientific achievements of our team of authors, Iryna Khoroshevska, PhD in Economics, Associate Professor of the Department of Multimedia Systems and Technologies at the Semen Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics, and Oleksii Khoroshevskyi, PhD in Engineering, Senior Lecturer at the Department of Media Systems and Technologies at the Kharkiv National University of Radio Electronics, Speaker. I would like to note that the intensive development of multimedia technologies produces new requirements for modern electronic resources structure, visual appearance, functionality, and interactivity to support user learning and enhance their self-development and self-improvement in specific issues and areas. This can be both professional and personal self-development. Both directions are characterized by the user's acquisition of competencies through active thinking and creative problem solving in a particular subject area through modern multimedia interactive learning resources. Such multimedia resources are powerful educational tools that allow users to learn and self-learn within a single educational space. They can be implemented as multimedia training complexes and courses, personal learning systems, multimedia learning platforms, etc., which allow the user to build their own learning path according to their interests, needs and capabilities. The use of such resources helps to facilitate the process of understanding and assimilation of educational material by ensuring a high level of visualization of its presentation using various types of media content, such as tests, images, videos, audio, 2D and 3D models, etc., in a single holistic learning space of the resource. In addition, such multimedia learning resources include a wide variety of components, for example, a theoretical core with learning material in the form of logically structured sections, topics, questions in a particular subject area and interactive elements, examples of which will be discussed below. The subject area can be training in a specific discipline, e.g., color theory, electronic publishing technologies, design and development of web systems, web analytics, and search engine optimization, etc., to acquire professional competencies or self-study on issues of interest to the user, e.g., learning to play a particular musical instrument, proper care of animals, plants, etc. An interesting example of implementing a multimedia learning resource is the training complex for the discipline color theory, taught by my co-author Iryna Khoroshevska. The multimedia complex contributes to acquiring the professional competencies of second-year students majoring in publishing and printing, building harmonious color combinations for electronic and printed products, working with digital color representation, etc. The theoretical core of the complex is formed based on the competencies the user should develop. Based on the professional competencies presented on this slide, we outline the issues that should be included in the multimedia learning complex in the discipline of color theory. The complex is an online learning resource developed using the Joomla CMS. The educational content is divided into illustrative and descriptive, reproductive and creative levels. Examples of menu fragments and individual pages of the complex are shown on this slide. The multimedia complex features a gallery of creative microprojects by students, as results of laboratory practice, which are presented as a slideshow and on the museum's three-dimensional wall, an example of which is shown on the next slide. Visitors to the gallery can evaluate each other's work, leave comments, and rate the projects of other students based on their preferences. The museum section, placed at a creative level, contains the most interesting results of micro-projects that have received high ratings. The structure of the multimedia complex includes access to an integrated multimedia educational manual, which can be used directly on the complex's webpage in a browser or downloaded as a separate application for offline use. Below are examples of its sections for your reference. The topics for study are displayed when hovering over a sector of the color wheel and are implemented in the corresponding sections of the complex. When a topic of interest is selected, the system navigates to the relevant section of the multimedia resource. The slide displays the typical content layout of multimedia manual pages with illustrative material. Graphical examples are provided to ensure a high level of visual clarity and color scheme construction. It demonstrates how, when hovering over a sector of the color wheel, the name of the corresponding color appears, as shown in illustration 1. This simple interactive feature during the study of theoretical material enhances memory retention. With further user interaction with the page's functionality, it becomes possible to create various harmonious color combinations by manipulating the movement of a graphical shape inscribed within the color wheel, illustration 2. Many interactive thematic tasks and exercises on color theory have been implemented. During their completion, the user learns by engaging in the process of working with color. There are many interactive games based on color theory material, such as those for matching colors and shapes and for placing colored rectangles on a musical staff in the correct relation. Tasks for assembling thematic puzzles have also been implemented. This slide presents examples of interactive test tasks of various types. It is worth noting that a person is constantly acquiring new knowledge from various fields of interest throughout life. Learning how to engage in culinary arts, sports exercises, or caring for animals and plants are all subject areas that are interesting to people. For all these fields, creating corresponding multimedia learning courses for self-development and self-improvement of users is relevant. Such courses aim to help individuals acquire new knowledge in a specific subject area that interests them. We want to draw your attention to the following research, the result of which is the practical development of a multimedia training course for user self-development and proper plant care. The course is visualized with many examples of cactus, succulent, species, transplanting, watering, and other aspects of their care. The interactive component includes exercises in the form of video lessons, tips, and quizzes on various topics, as well as an educational game. The multimedia training course provides knowledge about succulent species. It develops skills in transplanting, watering, placement, fertilizing, and propagating succulents based on a multimedia guide filled with many examples and tasks. This serves as the theoretical core of the course. Each topic has a separate page with interactive objects. The topics include educational video lessons with textual explanations, interactive exercises, interactive tips, interactive quizzes on the issues, and a thematic relaxation component in the form of an educational game. An essential component of the learning process is tracking its effectiveness based on the user's performance in the test, which is also a learning component of the multimedia training course. Since the course is aimed at user self-development, the number of attempts to pass the test is unlimited within the framework of the established pedagogical scenario. The thematic relaxation game Correspondence with a Friend was developed as an interactive component of the multimedia learning complex. A scenario of questions and possible answers was created for this game. As components of the multimedia course, instructions for tests and the game were also developed as a video guide for working with the course, pages with minimal and recommended system requirements, a page with information about the course, and others. We want to draw your attention to the feasibility of implementing digital educational games as part of multimedia learning resources. In our work, we have justified their importance and suggested types of digital games that are appropriate to implement within such resources. The types of games are listed on the slide. Here are several implemented examples of thematic digital educational games within multimedia training complexes and courses from various subject areas, developed by bachelor students in the Electronic Publishing Technologies course, where they learn to design such complexes. For example, the main idea of the puzzle game is to assemble an image of a character from separate layers in the correct order. It is intended that the player can only move one element of the character per turn. Suppose the user assembles the entire image at once. In that case, it will be considered an error, as it violates the goal of the game, which is to help the user learn the hierarchy of layers for future work in Unity. Implementing digital training games in the structural and content composition of multimedia training resources, in the form of complexes or courses, is a powerful educational mechanism that promotes increased motivation, enhances user engagement and learning, and positively impacts their results. Thus, multimedia interactive training resources allow for the creation of necessary educational, informational, motivational, cognitive, and other conditions to achieve the goal of professional training or personally oriented self-development in a specific subject area, field, or issue through the integration of the components listed on the slide within a unified electronic learning space. They increase users' motivation for learning, stimulate their cognitive activity, and encourage self-learning and self-development. On this slide, we present the scientific contributions that were used in preparing the report. Thank you for your attention to our presentation.